I don't know. I think the clouds in the ceiling is because it's like the rocket assembly building at Kennedy Space Center, where the ministry atrium is so tall it has its own weather system.
Oh my gosh.
Hello and welcome to the ParkStop podcast, episode 67. My name's Alicia Stella. With me as always is my co-host Ian.
Hey kids!
And today we are talking about the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic at Universal Epic Universe.
I think the title needs to be longer.
I think we could add a couple more words in there. But anyone who pays attention to Jenny Nicholson is like, oh, it's corporate speak. Turn this off. They're shills. She said every word.
Oh, man. Seriously, if we're shills, I really and just somebody's woefully behind on payouts for us.
So before we get into the official details revealed for this third Wizarding World land in Orlando, we have some Epic Universe breaking news.
We do?
We do.
Oh.
Have you seen the Flying Dragon?
I have not.
You've not seen the Flying Dragon?
I have not seen the Flying Dragon.
It's on my Twitter if you go look. But someone caught the Flying Dragon drone over Epic Universe, over Isle of Berk last night. It was Adventuring with Annie on Twitter. I believe she also has a YouTube channel. I don't know if she posted this to YouTube yet. And yes, it is not just a dragon-shaped drone flying over Epic Universe. This thing is flapping its wings.
It is, and it's gliding a little, and it's flapping a little.
I think it's so majestic. It's just like chilling up there, flying around in a very big circle. They have a big like L-shaped space that's backstage that wraps around the theater building all the way to the roller coaster, and I think that specifically is designed so that they don't have to fly this thing over guest areas, in case the dragon gets tired and it falls out of the sky.
Of course, or it gets shot down by somebody hunting dragons. I don't know. Especially if I get armed with a crossbow in Dark Universe. Not that I would shoot dragons down or anything, but...
And when we're recording this on Friday, August 2nd, someone spotted a second dragon testing this morning. I can't tell because it's kind of zoomed out, but I think it might be a second style dragon. So there might be already two different dragons. If not, at least we know that now that they've done. Well, we know now they've done 3 tests because we heard about the first test.
Yeah,
and I saw a blurry photo that looked like the Loch Ness Monster photo from like 100 miles away. And I was like, all right, this is inconclusive. But now we have conclusive video evidence of a flying dragon. Go check it out. Adventuring with Annie on Twitter. Thank you. Annie's Uni update is there'll be a link in the description, the show notes for this podcast. If you go to the official website, universeorlando.com, they do say in the meet and greet section that you'll be able to see Vikings in the village and dragons in the sky.
They do.
So like they're not hiding it.
Well, I mean, when I walk in there's definitely Vikings in the village. So
they specifically say, though, you may even catch a glimpse of dragons flying high above the village. And I think they have to use that word because, the weather has to be cooperating. We got to have no wind, which is where this video looks so majestic, is that there's no wind.
Dragons only fly in perfect weather.
Yeah. That's...
They can't be bothered anymore. They get pampered so much. They're like, whatever, I'm only flying when it's really nice out.
Yeah, otherwise they'll just be in their little dragon houses. The other breaking news story is that last week, Epic Universe had its first fireworks test.
Oh, yeah. That I did see some of.
And we got lots of video from lots of different vantage points of people on the balconies of their apartments, which is just great for them because these were very loud fireworks. And they get to enjoy that every night.
They're so excited.
But this was just a test, though, and any specific firework that you may have seen that may or may not have looked like a Pokeball is completely coincidental. And that there was one that was like 3 different colors. It was red, white, and blue. And it had a small ball inside of a dual color, two fireworks. And it kind of looked like a Pokeball if you pause the video just right. But As people pointed out, they do this one at Disney World, and it is unrelated. It is not Pokemon. Anyway, they were just testing different scale, different size fireworks, different noise volume fireworks. There was good gaps in between, so I definitely think they're recording the audio for this to see how the decibels are, so they can decide which ones they want to use.
Does size matter with fireworks?
The noise matters. Like sometimes it's the little tiny ones that are allowed. It's that little sprayer one in my neighborhood at 4th of July that goes that's the loudest one.
No.
I'm ignoring you. So the fireworks launch off from the giant pond behind Helios Grand Hotel, and I think a lot of this was height testing and scale testing and sound testing, and that not necessarily all the fireworks used are what is going to be used. But there was a lot that were like kind of like outer spacey, like the planet ones with a little ring around them.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping they use those.
It's super exciting because it just means we're getting so close, like closer and closer and closer. I love it. It's so exciting.
I mean, people are like, "Is it too soon to be testing fireworks?" And I'm like, "Well, they gotta pick. They're like fireworks shopping at this point,
pretty much.
And then from here, they'll develop a show. Like it's not that early. If anything, it's late because they have a lot to do.
They do, but I mean, it's we're for so many. Like considering the number of years we've been talking about this.
5. Well,
this is so close.
I guess we've been talking about it on the podcast for 5.5.
Yeah, feels like forever.
Because we talked about it before, and I've been talking about it in blogs and stuff for 6. Because that first year, no one believed me. They're like, "What are you talking about? Crazy old coot thinks the theme park's coming."
Then you got some annoying dude on a microphone with you, and it just went even worse.
Oh, remember we had to re-record that episode because it didn't come out?
That was great.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Fun times. Anyway.
Yeah. The coolish looking land that's not as cool as Dark Universe.
Okay, so...
Are we doing that next?
The Wizarding World of... Do you think the original name for this was, and it was our joke, but do you think it was true, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministries of Magic?
Probably.
Like, that was the joke, because I said Ministrying of Magic, as it, like...
Yeah, I remember we had all kinds of names for that.
But I think Ministries of Magic actually could have been accurate, because there was one ministry on the left and one ministry on the right.
It should have been. I mean, to be fair, I know people have issues with the Fantastic Beasts, but this fly-through video, it looks great. And I will argue with anybody that says it doesn't, because it looks awesome. Well,
let's talk about the land overview before we get into the ride, because that'll be the meat of this episode. We'll talk about the ride. That's what we all hear. What's up? What we're all here for. But land overview. The land is based on 1920s Paris from Fantastic Beasts 2. The ride is based on 1990s British Ministry of Magic from Harry Potter. Which, if you've been paying attention to what we've been saying, is like as absurd as it is what it is. Like it is actually happening. It's finally true.
It's weird.
I had one comment on the video when I posted day before yesterday, and they're like, "I'm sorry I argued with you. It just seemed so absurd." And I'm like, I know. But the thing is, I don't make stuff up. It's just like reality is stranger than fiction, and Universal Creative and Warner Brothers developed a land that is this absurd, and it's true. It's just true. I can't make it up.
I showed it to our friend Kay and told her about it, and she was like, "Nope, I don't like that. Not at all. I don't like that at all." She doesn't like it at all. She's like, "It's so weird to mix those two things," and she's like, "I don't even care about the land anymore." She's like that put off by it, and she like is a huge Potter fan. So,
well, they've confirmed the Metro flu, which is a rumor we talked about. And I can't believe it's actually called that. It's a rumor we talked about a couple of years ago. Where you would be able to go into like a subway station and take a fireplace flu network, because not everyone has a fireplace nearby. You know, you're on the go. You're a businessman. You got your briefcase, and you're a wizard, and you're a wizard businessman, and we gotta get into a fireplace. And you're like, "Do you gonna go all the way back home?" No, you're gonna go into this mass transit fireplace network. Why not?
Of course.
And because of the Metro flu, they've essentially created portals within a land that you get in through a portal. And then you can take this portal that they've rebranded as a wizard thing to go to anywhere or any win that you want. Let's not forget that.
I mean, I personally was looking forward to flushing myself down the toilet, but I guess the fireplace is fine.
And I wonder if it was when it was going to take over Fear Factor Live, if the toilet thing was how we got in, because they weren't going to have that hallway of fireplaces. That would have been great. It's like the Beauty and the Beast enchanted tales, but instead of going into a mirror, we all just go into a giant toilet.
And then it turns into the tunnel from Poseidon's. And that's how they reuse
Yes,
it. Then we're done.
yes, that's so good. Oh, what? That's actually clever. That's disgustingly perfect.
Now I kind of want that instead.
No, so, but here's a comparison. You're in Super Nintendo World. You go to the back of the land. There is a warp pipe to go to Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Completely different thing.
Of course.
Than Super Mario Land. And yet here it is within Super Nintendo World. That's all this is. It's just a portal to get to a different area that's a mini land, essentially, or in this case, a single ride. I mean, let's be honest. That's what Donkey Kong Country is too. It's a single ride with a teeny tiny gift shop in the front.
But it looks like a fun single ride.
It does. But so like that's all this. And there was going to be another Metro Flu to get to the Great Hall dining experience. Which is in Scotland. So like these are London, Scotland, different time periods. Who cares? These are portals. Okay. It's mini lands. I'm okay. I'm getting off my soapbox.
At least London and Scotland are on the same island, though. You know what I'm saying? Like Paris is not.
They're all part of Europe. Paris isn't that far away, right?
No, I mean, there's a tunnel, right?
Now, 80 years of time difference.
I can't remember. It just is so like mixed and matched. It makes no sense.
But back to what you were saying about the fly-through and how pretty it looks.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that not only have they rearranged the land, which they did for Diagon too, because it's a theme park, you have to rearrange things a little bit to make it make sense and to enter buildings and not just be a movie set facade. But they really rearranged the land from what it was on the set for Crimes of Grindelwald. Although Crimes of Grindelwald, like...
Nobody's going to remember.
Stuart Craig, is that his name? Amazing set design for all of the Harry Potter films and then for Fantastic Beasts. And the cinematographer and director barely show Place Cachée. And they don't, like, they do it in little, like tiny little bites. Like, here's people walking in front of this hotel, and here's the shot of a cauldron shop, and that's it. And then you see like a wide shot. The one good shot is this wide shot where Newt Scamander does the little circle thing that makes like, it shows you the like what happened last night or whatever. Mm-hmm. That one shot is the only thing we have for frame of reference, and it's mostly CG. And it's like, why are you not showing off this beautiful set the way that you did, the way that Chris Columbus did in the first Harry Potter film?
Exactly.
Like there's these beautiful crane shots and you see the whole street in one go. So anyway, you can rearrange this land any way you want. No one saw the movie.
That's what I said. Nobody's going to notice.
The cinematographer didn't show the land. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to notice. It's going to be fine.
But what catches me off guard is they've added all of these like murals to all the buildings and adverts for wizarding stuff on all the buildings that weren't there in the movie.
Well, that you saw.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's not that we saw. It doesn't mean that the set director didn't have things there.
Well, the set design didn't really do second levels, so there was set extensions digitally. But like looking at the behind the scenes footage, none of that stuff really is there. It's just normal signage and then like some props out front. Like here's a display of wands, or here's some stacks of cauldrons, or here's some candy in the window. I don't think it had giant murals. This feels like Diagon Alley to me.
It feels
supersized.
Awesome. Yeah, it feels awesome. I like the way it looks. I think it looks really beautiful. And like I've been saying from the start, no matter what you think about Fantastic Beasts, all the sets and visuals have been amazing. They're really cool looking.
They've definitely made it their own. It feels more like a theme park land than it does a set from a movie.
Yeah, there's also a little bit of like a Nocturnish Alley looking place. Like they
seriously,
have like
this is just Diagon Alley supersized.
Alley. Like there's a whole darker section that's all smoky and foggy.
And they even confirmed that the restaurant in that area is where the dark wizards hang out to hide from the Aurors from the French ministry. It literally is Nocturne Alley.
That's where I'm going, obviously.
But it's French. So like originally we were saying like this is like the France pavilion at Epcot, but bigger. But it's not. It's very wizarding. It's very colorful and as French as they can make it. It's also got the like colorful, absurd Diagon Alley style adverts painted on every wall, which I'm saying like it's a negative, but it's probably a positive because at least then it'll feel like Harry Potter, I guess.
That Dragon Phoenix thing that we saw in the building that is in this fly through too looks amazing. I like the way that looks a lot. Also, Gojira just played France for the Olympics. Can we get Gojira in here too? Just saying.
I don't know what that is.
That's a metal band. They just played part
Oh
of the
yeah,
opening ceremony.
the headless woman. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
remember that scene. Yeah.
I like Gojira.
Anyway, yeah, the Phoenix Arch too. Like
Oh,
even the
yeah.
arch that's based on a real arch, they changed to be more theme parky, where they have a giant Phoenix statue on the wizarding side, and they removed the relief to save money off the Muggle side.
The raised up area, like the steps that go up to the statue too, the siren statue thing is pretty cool looking.
Yeah, you see how they're roped off? That caused a little controversy on social
Yeah.
media. People are like, "Oh, why would you build this and then rope it off?" And it's like because it's a
Exactly.
forced perspective, and those steps get tinier as they go.
Yeah, but still, even if they did it halfway up where you could actually go up there.
That's how it is at like next to Gringotts. You can go up
Yeah.
those stairs halfway.
People are always on those steps too. It looks awesome. It looks good to have like people on them and like lively, in my opinion.
And maybe it would mess up with the forced perspective on this one, and also
Maybe.
people would mess with the statue. And also, there's a rumor that there's a interactive wand experience that you can only get to by achieving different things in the app with wands, with the new version of the wands
now we
that
got
area,
levels.
like under that statue.
So now we got levels.
I mean,
You
it's
have
like
to
Power
complete
Up
this.
Band.
Yeah.
It's a paywall attraction. Let's be real.
All right.
People think that we're like Universal shills because I'm always like dragging Disney for paywalls and stuff. But here I am, equal opportunity, also dragging Universal for the same
Look,
thing.
if one is doing something better than the other, it's just by default going to look better than the other. I'm sorry.
Look, we can't help it if people would rather pay $50 for a wand to unlock an experience than $200 for a lightsaber that you can't even take out in the land.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm sorry. It's just the way it is.
One place encourages you to wear and use the things you buy. One place says no.
Whatever. I still bought the lightsaber. It was
I know
fun.
you did.
Yoda talks to you at the end.
I know.
The room turned green.
I know. Just for Yoda, right? Wait,
Yeah.
what color is your lightsaber again?
It's green, like Master Yoda.
I guess I'll let that go. Anyway, this isn't a Disney show.
What, do you want to talk about the ride?
Yeah, I want to talk about the ride.
All right, let's talk about the ride.
Why wouldn't you want to talk about the ride?
I do want to talk about the ride. I'm sighing as I look at my notes and realize that 90% is about the ride.
I mean,
we might as well talk about the land real quick and just talk about dining and shopping, or we'll never get to the.
Okay, let's do the dining and shopping then.
We did a fake out. Take that, everyone listening.
We are in rare form today.
There are 2 restaurants. Oh, I wish I had my permits in front of me. Like, we've been talking about this land, and we've had the site plans that list like the number of, I think it was like 250 and 260 seats in each restaurant.
That sounds about right.
For years. And then last year we got all the trademarked names, and they're all in French, and I butcher them every time I try to say them. So it's wild now, because that was November, I think, when the trademarks came out. It's wild now, eight months later or whatever, to hear them confirm all these names, and they're all 100% accurate. And the layout for the land and where each thing is accurate. So we've been on top of this.
I'm personally just excited to listen to you try to pronounce French names. That's what I'm here for.
All right, let's pronounce some French names. The only restaurant they actually talked about in the announcement video is the cafe in the center of the land named Café L'Air de la Serine. I think I did that pretty well.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. Which, while we knew what it was and has 2 entrances, one on each side of the corner street that it's on, and it has some outdoor seating, like a little patio seating, little French cafe. What we didn't know is that the architecture inside has mosaics with Fantastic Beasts hidden in them.
Perfect.
That's kind of cute.
I love that.
I like that this one has windows and is very like open and bright. And then the other one in the dark alley, Les Gobelets Niort.
That's where I will be.
Which I just want to say the Black Goblet. Can I just say the Black Goblet, please? It's essentially the Black Cauldron. I think it has a cauldron signage, which is from Nicolas Flamel's house.
Flamel?
Oh, that I'll pronounce wrong. Like they took the real sign that's above his house in Paris and made it the sign for this.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's how that works. So it's the Black Cauldron. What does it say? In the shadowy corners of Place Cachet is a mysterious time-worn auberge. What is auberge?
I
don't use big words on me.
Auberge?
Press release.
I don't know.
Where international dark witches and wizards gather to escape the prying eyes of the Paris ministry and have a hearty meal over hushed conversation. So this one doesn't have windows and it's dark.
That makes sense.
So it's the opposite of the other one.
It's literally like, hey, it's dark.
I imagine this one would be
For the
very quiet because it's
Dark
hidden,
wizards.
literally hidden in a Nocturne Alley type alley.
I love that,
So
actually.
I just imagine team members standing in front of the very bustling, busy cafe that has an entrance right next to the land entrance and just being like, we have a 45-minute wait. Go to the other one.
other
Turn
one?
right and go to the other restaurant. Well, we want to eat at this restaurant. It's big. The other one has the same number of seats and there's no one in it. But this one has bright lights. It's pretty.
I want to go to the dark one. To
Yeah.
nobody's surprise. To nobody's surprise at all.
I imagine it's quieter over there unless they're really sending people to it.
Probably.
And then listed under food, they also have bar moonshine, which everyone is getting very excited about because bar. And it's decorated with U.S. Quidditch team pennants and other wizarding Americana. So it's their way of like squeezing in a little bit of the American wizarding stuff that was seen in the first Fantastic Beast. But this is a walk-up bar. This is a very small structure in the plans.
Well, I mean, Hogshead is basically a walk-up bar. You can't even sit in there anymore. It's always reserved.
You know what? It's about that size.
So,
maybe
yeah,
smaller.
I was going to say. Yeah. That's fine. Do
I
they
think
have actual moonshine is the question.
I mean, they have Universal moonshine. What was
Yeah,
the
I was
joke
gonna
someone
say.
said on Twitter? It's
Moonshine is universal.
It's cream soda. Oh, that's my joke. Thank you.
Oh, man.
People get me. They get
Butterbeer
me.
without the butter.
It says exclusive beers, wines, and cocktails.
Exclusive. That
yeah.
means more custom beers.
But I also believe it will have non-alcoholic things like pumpkin juice and
Nobody cares about
whatever.
That. I'm just kidding.
So you can take your kiddies. You can take your. It's not just for grown-ups. But
and
it looks
give
like
them the alcohol when no one's looking. I'm just
in
kidding.
the fly-through, it looks kind of like an open-air patio seating with a walk-up bar, and it's attached to the kitchen for the indoor, like the dark restaurant. So I think it's really just a walk-up. It's necessary. It's necessary.
Of course, it's necessary. We need a bar.
Halfway through the day, this is necessary for parents.
It's necessary for Ian.
On the other side of the land, though, is the beer bar cart. Beer bar. Beer bar. I like the way, like watching the video, and then when they get to a French word, it just my brain turns off, and it's like, did they say a word? It just sounds like they made a noise, like beer bar. Beer bar. I'm sorry, what was that? Butterbeer. Oh, okay. It's literally a butterbeer cart, but they named it beer bar.
It's French.
Beer bar.
This is why I came here, kids, today, just to hear the French pronunciations.
Beer bar. I said it before the show really well, and I like rolled my R, and it sounded fancy. It's like,
oh man.
Beer bar.
I don't.
No mention of the patisserie, which leads me to believe that despite trademarking it, it is just a facade and not actually a enterable building serving actual food. A lot of people disappointed are going to be disappointed when they realize that the wand shop doesn't sell baguettes, and that baguettes is just the word for wands in French. A lot of people are going to be disappointed. And then when they realize that, they're going to be like, "Oh, well, here's a patisserie right here on the left," and they're going to be pulling on that door, and it's not going to open.
It's not open. Yeah, I think. Are you still upset you didn't get your Kowalskis?
I mean, a little bit. It's weird, like if they can do an American bar, why can't you do an American bakery?
It feels like a missed opportunity to me, truly, to like do something really cool.
I think that would have been part of the gift shop outside the land, and that they cut. I do really think that because there's always a treat case in these big gift shops.
Yeah,
that would have been the opportunity there. I
think it should have been in the land. I think it's a huge missed opportunity.
Fantastic things and where to buy them.
I mean, they could always come up with a cart and be like, "It's Kowalski's traveling."
Well, I noticed in the Muggle Park, the non-magique park, in between the portal and the arch, there is in the concept art a little patisserie cart, because it's supposed to just be like, here's real Paris, and then you go into the Wizarding Paris through the arch, and there's like the guy painting the arch, which, by the way, I believe is actually going to be there, like a permanent, like there is in the France Pavilion. There's like a permanent artist easel sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So there, I imagine there'll be like a permanent actor just right there at the other side of the portal. Be like, "Welcome to the 20s," and he's just
the painting that never gets done.
It never gets done. He's just pretending to paint for the next 40 years. But there's a little patisserie cart right there, so there's an opportunity. So if you do want an actual baguette to walk around the land, there you go.
Kowalski's cart spelled in some kind of weird French way.
No, it's probably literally just going to be loaves of bread. That's all they're going to sell.
Probably.
Because
French bread is good.
That's what we believe. That's what us U.S. Americans believe the French experience is buy a baguette.
Fries?
When Remy's Ratatouille Adventure opened at Epcot, every morning I would go and wait in line at the patisserie, get a half loaf of bread and some butter, and just walk around and listen to Michael Giacchino's score and pretend I'm in Paris. Like that is the American way to celebrate.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. French bread is delicious, and there's nothing wrong with bread and butter. So
For shopping, they did confirm Les Galeries Mirifiques.
A pharmacy? What? Oh, sorry.
No, Les Galeries Mirifiques.
Okay.
It's a department store. They said it sells wizarding gear and memorabilia. If you look at the concept art and zoom in, there's like these little signs on the left above the cafe. That's for this store. And you can read some of the things that are listed there to get an idea of what they sell.
That's pretty cool, though.
Let's see. It says illuminations, Quidditch, robes, beauty, alchemy. I would call it the main gift shop for the land. It's at the corner of the cafe. And they did confirm that. They also confirmed Tour en Flou. Every time I talk about this, I sound like Joey on Friends trying to learn French. Blah, blah, blue. Anyway, Tour en Flou is a...
Tour en Flou.
Tour en Flou.
I turned Scandinavian for some reason.
Is the... Wow, this is just terrible. I apologize to the rest
French,
of the world.
To all of the French.
To all of the world.
Anyone who speaks French.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not. This is amazing.
Did you see Doofenshmirtz is going to be at the Disneyland Halloween party?
No, that's amazing.
When I was growing up in the old country. There we go. Now I've hit every accent.
I need you to go just so I can watch you communicate with him that way. See what he does. Anyway.
Tour en Flou is the exit gift shop for the ride, and it says it will sell. They call it a Metro Flu gift shop, so it's like a Subway. It's like a little gift shop at the Grand Central Station. I love that. And it has Ministry of Magic inspired items, so it's like the ride gift shop. And then they did also confirm Caramel, which is the sweet shop.
Wait, what is it called? What is the gift shop again?
Tour
en
Flou.
Yeah. See, they should. Yeah, it's cordon bleu. Yeah.
What's great about this gift shop is it's covered in cheese and ham. All right, and
I'm just saying, it's cordon bleu.
Of course, the wand shop is Cosme Acajor Baguettes Magiques.
Magic baguettes.
Baguettes.
Magic bread.
Oh.
Magic bread.
Anyway, they did confirm that the wands will be sold in the triangle boxes, just like the set design for the movie, which barely gets seen in the movie. And that they will still also sell imports from Ollivanders, so you can get like the normal character
AKA,
wands.
AKA we need to sell these other ones here too.
Yeah, I think it might be a limited selection on the new ones, but
wait. If they're importing wands, but the British ministry is just hanging out in Paris now, like,
no,
what is going on?
You have to take magical transportation to get there through time and space. That is not actually in the land. It is just the Metro Flu station, which is in the land.
Take the Metro Flu.
It's the Metro Flu station is there, and then we travel hundreds of miles across the earth.
Why would I go all the way there when France has their own?
No, they cut that.
I like how reality only counts when it really makes it easy.
And I went on a tirade on Twitter.
You never.
Because I keep seeing people say, as this was announced, they're like, oh, they changed the main ride from Fantastic Beasts to the British Ministry with Harry Potter because the movies flopped. The British Ministry was always part of this land.
Yes, it was. They just cut the other one that made sense.
It's just like Jurassic Park the ride anchoring Islands of Adventure, Super Nintendo World anchoring Epic Universe. They were kind of working on a plan for a British Ministry ride
Hmm.
attached to the London waterfront Universal Studios Florida. And then they're like, oh, we got the green light to build this new theme park. What are we working on? And they ported all the plans over to the new park. So the anchor for this land is the London ride, even though
Hmm.
the land is Paris. And that's always the way that it was planned.
Which is weird.
The one that was going to take over Fear Factor Live, the plan for the Ministry ride was much smaller in scope, and it would not have had the fireplace flue entry. It would not, I guess, toilets. It would not have had the atrium with the giant statues in the offices. Although that was going to be a scene on that ride, which would have been a trackless ride, but entirely screen based. So, like, instead of having a screen based one little 20-second scene in the atrium, we get a full on walking through the atrium. So that's why they moved it here. I know it doesn't thematically make sense, but who cares?
The screen, I mean, and the screen would have made sense then because it's a much smaller area. So
Right. It would have been a lot more screens and a lot less like
awesome.
grand space and trackless. And of course, Universal canceled all their trackless rides anyway, like Secret Life of Pets, the Villain Con, and anything else they were working on that was trackless got changed after Skull Island opened and they had some trackless issues.
Is that going outside yet?
No, soon, by the end of the year.
Yeah, I keep saying soon every time I ask somebody there.
And bad news, though, the 3D's gone forever.
That's lame.
Let's just save the ride for last. Let's just be mean. Le Cirque Arcanus, or like Le Cirque Arcanu, as it was pronounced in the video.
Arcanu.
Or Arcanu. There we go. Le Cirque Arcanu.
Uh-huh.
Is an attraction that does take place in Fantastic Beasts era 1920s Paris. Because they cut the other one. This one still exists, and it is the first. I like the way they talked about it. Is the first indoor stage show for Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and that is true.
It's pretty cool.
So like, you know, I think it's a neat idea. Instead of just having like, I think Universal Japan has the puppets for the Fantastic Beasts. They bring out like Niffler puppets and stuff and different like puppet controlled animals. This way they can do a full on show as a way to showcase the Fantastic Beasts.
Which is pretty cool.
It takes place in the circus tent as seen in the second. I keep saying as seen as if anyone watched this movie.
But really, it goes into the building behind it, right?
Right. Yeah. It's a whole TARDIS situation. You go into this tiny circus tent, and then all of a sudden it's huge inside, and there's a queue you didn't know was in there, and you have to wait in line, and then
They're
from
like,
there,
ha.
It's literally exactly set up the same as T2 3D Battle Across Time / the Bourne Stuntacular, where you go into. There's a foyer, and then there's an entire queue, and then there's a holding area with a pre-show. It is exactly that. And the pre-show area, holding area, is sideshows for the circus. They confirm that. I think that's kind of clever. And then you go into the main theater.
I think that'll be fun once or twice, and then everybody will get bored of it.
I'm hoping they do it as like a just like vamping, like just as like warming up the crowd, and then there's the ringmaster's just constantly doing his thing as we're loading into the loading area. That way, it's not you have to sit here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, please.
That's my hope anyway. But anyway, the show's story was announced that the ringmaster, whose name is Skender, has stolen Newt Scamander's suitcase, and he's going to show off these different Fantastic Beasts. But then a circus employee named Gwendolyn has to rescue the creatures, and they confirm that Newt Scamander will be in the show somehow.
It's going to be Born Again in general, isn't it?
What, the screen thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Screens and sets and things.
I mean, yes, I think the screen probably that would be an easy way to get Newt into the show is to do the screen thing from Bourne, because like the crowd during the street fight scene at the beginning of Bourne Stuntacular does real. Like I can't tell which is the real people or not because the lighting matches so well.
Yeah, you have to look really hard to figure it out the first couple times.
So maybe the background is an LED screen, but like the best thing that it does is like the lights, like the projected lights on the screen at the beginning. I really think it's a wall, and then it becomes like a screen. Yeah, so like maybe the spotlight for the circus show is always an LED screen on the wall.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean that Bourne the holding screen kind of thing, the concrete wall looking thing is really cool looking.
Right. It looks so real.
It looks
It's
really
very,
real,
very
so.
different than the Cyberdyne projected screen, which is flickering the whole time on film.
But that's what I was thinking, because they're going to be doing, like, there's potential for really big creatures. So
I guess
putting them on a screen, or some kind of mix and match of like the Bourne stuff with maybe puppets or something. I don't know.
No, they did confirm puppets. I just think it's funny.
I'm just saying, like, overall, the idea of how to do it. I don't know.
The untrainable dragon is already this exactly.
Yeah.
It is a big LED screen from Born Stuntacular. It has big, large scale puppets and live actors. Like, it is already the show.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping they do some different stuff here. We know we have the liquid nitrogen tank outside, so we'll have some cold fog on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's loud special effects because there's a parental warning on this show.
Mm-hmm.
We have live actors, and we have aerialist. It was confirmed, so it is like circus stuff to start off the show. And they did confirm some of the animals that we'll see.
Yep.
Which I don't know how to pronounce, so I didn't even say it in my video. But we got the demi guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. The deer call. I don't know what that is. And the moon calves. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
I assume these are Fantastic Beasts as seen in movies, if you've seen them.
If you've seen them.
I mean, I'll recognize them if I see them. I'll be like, oh, it's that one.
Of course
it's the owl guy. Look, here's the owl guy. I bet you Moon Calves is the owl guy.
Mooncalf is the weird looking
land
thing with the long neck.
It's like an oblong sheep mouse.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's an oblong sheep mouse. I don't know this one from the movie.
Yeah,
is this in the movie?
He feeds them when they go in the back, when they go in his bag.
Oh yeah, I see a picture of them. Like they're surrounding. Okay,
they're cute.
Kowalski's feeding them.
What was the other ones?
Oh, hold on. This is riveting radio, folks.
Oh yeah. The demi guys is the monkey old dude that disappears and turns invisible.
Okay.
What was the other one?
Hold on. Deer call. There's the owl guy.
Yeah,
Deer call.
That's your
like
owl
a
guy.
Like a hawk.
That's your yeah.
Oh no, he looks like a dodo bird.
He's I was gonna say he's kind of like
he's a dodo bird. Anyway, I'm glad they incorporated the Newt Scamander's suitcase into a show, even though it would have been better if they did a whole ride where we go into the suitcase. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Over under, we get a Thunderbird or something big, something really big.
The big Chinese dragon looking cat monster is probably in the show. The one in the circus, in the France scene in the movie.
It reminds me of Kronk a little bit.
They showed that one a lot in the video, so I'm guessing that is because, again, there is a parental warning for children that this is scary because the Fantastic Beasts and actors will be around you, and it will feel like you're surrounded by a Fantastic Beast. So I'm thinking that the giant dragon cat is going to be featured very largely as a finale. Anyway, it's a show. All right, now that we've run out of time, let's talk about the ride.
Okay, perfect.
Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry is the largest ride building, largest attraction building at Epic Universe.
Slightly. Especially if you've seen the model. It's just slightly large.
Even if you took away the queue entry and the atrium and everything, it's still the largest ride in the ride building in the park.
I know. It's crazy how big that building is.
We will enter the Metro Flu. Looks like a subway. I noticed the fly-through video just skips the actual outdoor queue and just like pretends like we go right in, but that's never going to happen.
No.
The actual concept art shown in the video, though, if you zoom in on the art, you can see the entrance sign for the ride is inside the Metro Flu station, and it says Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, and there's a wait time, and it takes you outside. Very similar to like the Gringotts patio queue or the Forbidden Journey greenhouse queue. And then you come back into the building and go through the fireplace after waiting an hour.
Oh, so long.
And then you think, oh, I'm going on the ride. But no.
Nope.
It's just like Rise of Resistance when you get to the hangar and you're like, oh, we're going on the ride now. No, there's still more queue.
Just kidding.
And except in this case, there's not just like, oh, we're going into this atrium in the ministry and it's beautiful. We're going to go on the ride when we go through that door. Nope. There's still half the queue left.
Just trying to make you excited.
They just
fake out ending.
They just said you get to go through different departments and workspaces. They didn't specify what in the queue, but there is at very least, as we've talked about before, Dolores Umbridge's office will be in the queue.
Because, when I go on vacation, I want to see other people's offices.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
It's just like Gringotts. Like,
I know.
welcome to the bank.
It's just like Spider-Man just walking through a newspaper building.
Oh, so, that's true. That's true. At least this one's not an open house. Like, we're here for the trial. We're here for the trial. And there's like, I think it's neat in the concept art once you go into the ministry, like when you leave Paris and also 70 years later, the signs all say this way to the trial of Umbridge. Like, we're here for this reason. And they have the Q stanchions and everything could be thought of as temporarily set up because they know they're getting a large crowd for this trial.
Perfect.
So instead of having like a big open walkway, like it's in the fly-through reality, there'll be stanchions everywhere. And it makes sense. They set this up because of crowd control for this special event. And then on the right side, it's open and it looks like just normal business people coming and going. But really, those are the people exiting the ride. It's very clever.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. Cool.
Because you have to leave through another fireplace to get out of this place.
Of course, because you have to go back to Paris, apparently.
70 years earlier. And... I'm making this joke, by the way, because everyone's like, the Flu Network doesn't travel through time. And I think the reality is it still doesn't. They're just going to never address the fact that you're in different time periods.
Why would they? They don't have to anymore.
There's a Time Turner logo at the entrance to the portal. So problem solved.
Here we go. That's their out. There's a Time Turner.
Somewhere in the queue, it's not necessarily a pre-show, but I assume it's like the Forbidden Journey type integrated pre-shows with the Musion and stuff where like they talk to you as you walk through the queue. We will meet a new character, which was confirmed. Umbridge's former house elf, Higgledy.
That doesn't sound like a house elf name, but okay.
Higgledy diggly do. And she will kind of set up the storyline. And so we know like we're off to the trial and she was a terrible boss. She's getting what she deserves. What?
Is she a free elf?
I wonder if your master goes to jail, do you become free?
Well, I thought the only way you become free is if you get presented a piece of clothing from your master.
Well, maybe she's... Maybe she inherited all of Umbridge's clothes.
We shouldn't be talking about house elves anyway because it's a little touchy.
After we go through the workspaces and Umbridge's office, which I think someone commented a while ago, like 2 years ago, I made a video and I was like, and we might see Umbridge's office. And they commented like, why would we see Umbridge's office when Umbridge is on trial? Clearly she's moving out of her office and she's been in jail all this time. And it's like, I gotcha. They're packing up her office. There
we go.
So only half the cat plates are on the wall.
But it's still pink.
No, they haven't painted yet.
It's still pink, of course.
Yeah, they got to pack up.
People need to stop arguing with you. I'm just saying. You haven't learned by now? I don't know what to tell you.
Hey. 4 years ago, I was wrong about a lot of this stuff.
4 years ago. When
2 years ago, it was pretty right.
When we had almost no information. Almost none.
A year into this process, there was a lot of false information,
A year into this process, we had like no information. We were trying to figure it out by little things we could
I didn't know the British ministry was part of the land at first.
Nope.
We were theorizing it was like a tower attraction or like a suitcase through Newt's, stables and stuff. Like, we didn't know.
That would have been cool. I still want that as the queue.
We didn't know.
That would be a cool queue. Anyway.
So the load area is, and we saw this in permit plans, the load area is the lift station, the elevators for the Ministry of Magic. And it is a dual load station in the plans, but it's clever the way they have, you can see it in now the official concept art, because it's a round circle room with multiple doors to different elevators. There's like some elevators that just have closed doors. So only two of them are real. It's very clever the way they've done that. So like,
it is
because it's a dual load station, but anyway,
it's pretty cool.
And the ride vehicles do look like Tower of Terror ride vehicles, which is really like, I almost think showing this concept art is going to like create a, it's writing checks for a drop tower ride that this can't cash. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it is not that kind of ride. And even the motion graphic that they used in the video has it like wobbling like the old Tower of Terror billboard at Walt Disney World. I'm making myself laugh. It's wobbling to try to show like, no, this is like a motion based ride. This isn't a drop ride. Like, see, it's warbling, but
Warbling. It's warbling.
people are gonna think it's a drop ride. Like, there's even the like 3D modeled footage of like the other elevator going up and down and sideways and wonkavatoring, and it looks like it's falling really fast. So there's definitely an expectation that this thing is supposed to be a drop ride, but it is not a drop ride.
But it could physically drop really slowly with a screen in front of your face that goes really fast.
I mean, it could drop kind of fast.
Yeah, but I'm saying
feet.
it would elongate. It would elongate them, but it'd only be 8 feet. So
yeah.
So
whatever
wait.
Star Tours can do.
What do we think they're going to do for the ceiling in that main atrium kind of area?
Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about the atrium. There's like circling clouds and lightning up there.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was going to be a scrim that was like kind of like Musion effect on or projection mapped on.
I would
or
just
something.
paint it black.
Yeah, but then you don't get the clouds and stuff.
Well, do you need clouds?
Yes.
Just do the fade out effect. It works on Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh wait, there's clouds in Pirates of the Caribbean. So they could just project clouds onto the ceiling.
They could. That's what I'm saying. Projection mapping or some. It'd be cool if they did a scrim because it would make it look a little more infinite if they did one level above like a scrim.
If they did a scrim, I would like to see the inter-office paper airplane memos fly by above us.
That would make it even better. You're
I
just
would
selling
like
me
to
more
see
on the
that.
scrim idea.
Oh, and we didn't talk about the infinite background either, the set extension.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Tate. Well, no, I jumped ahead to the ride. Tate is, I think it's Tate who's doing all these LED screens. They do the big giant LED screens for like Taylor Swift concerts and stuff. And they did the Born Stuntacular screen and they did the Untrainable Dragon screen. And this ride not only has LED screens on the ride, but the atrium has this big opening with the big giant like 20-foot wizard statue behind it.
Yeah.
And behind that is another LED screen
To make
it makes it look like there's more offices forever. And that's a way to project, or not project, but like display the paper airplanes flying by in the other room.
Yeah, doing down like hallways and stuff.
So like you look ahead and you see the fountain with the centaur and the house elf statue. And then behind that is a cutout section and another room keeps going forever. And there's a giant wizard statue and then an LED screen that makes it look like the offices keep going. But it also creates some dynamic action visible in the background.
Yeah. I mean, the ceiling would be cool anyway, just to do something. I mean, even in Hagrid's, they have that stuff that goes on in the ceiling. It makes a little more fun.
I mean, these offices' windows in the atrium is already several stories tall.
Yeah.
Like, it's already impressive. I know in the movie it goes on for like 80 stories, but like, it's already pretty cool. Do we need to have a cloud effect?
Yes, we do, because there's lightning in the clouds too, I believe.
But why? It's not in the movie.
Because it looks cool as hell.
Oh, okay.
Tell me that doesn't look cool.
I mean, I guess, but I'd rather just rather a fade out to black and just not think about it.
Why can't we have both? Why do we have to have one or the other?
Do you really think they're going to have like a fog effect up there or just a projected scrim?
I think it'd be like a projection thing.
Okay. Because
if the reason I say a scrim is because if they did it like one or two levels below where they stop, as it fades out, it'll
then
just
you
make
would
it look
still
even
see
better.
actual office buildings above it. Okay. That makes sense.
But I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to be able to see it if they do it, if they can do it.
So the ride vehicle looks like Tower of Terror, has 2 rows of seating, looks like 12 seats.
Looks like Tower of Terror, functions like Spider-Man.
Functions like Spider-Man, has the motion of Star Tours.
Yep.
So like you have the up and down and the pitch, yaw, and roll all combined together onto a ride vehicle on a track that goes through a building. We've seen the track layout. I won't put it, if you're watching a video version of this, I won't put the track layout or anything other than official art, but there is these moments where it essentially kind of parks into a dome screen or a divot screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of those moments is even shown in the video, the announcement video, where you see the other car with the trio of actors and Higgledy in it, and they're traveling with us at one point. And I think these are moments where we're pretending to go somewhere, but we're actually just looking at a screen. Very much like Transformers, though, which does a good job of driving forward 5 or 6 feet to create the initial boost of start of like momentum. And then it feels like you're really driving. I think this one's going to do that where up and down, like if you're going up, it goes vroom and pulls you up like 8 feet to give the initial boost. Because an elevator really you only notice the motion at the beginning and the end when your
Yeah.
stomach does that little whoop. So to create the effect of going up 80 stories and down 80 stories, the motion base can lift and go down to give that effect of like whoop, and that starts you, but then the screen keeps it going. But here's a little thing I don't think people know. The trio of characters and Higgledy in the other elevator traveling with us is not screen based. It is a
that's
physical prop actually traveling, well, pretending to travel with us. And there is a manufacturer listed for this attraction for Kuka Arm. So, like the Dementors on Forbidden Journey, I think the other elevator is on a Kuka Arm.
That's awesome.
So it can be warbling in front of us while we're warbling in front of a screen, and we can get exposition while we pretend to go through an endless hallway.
I dig it. I like that.
All right, that's the only spoilers I'm going to give you for this episode.
I like that.
But here's the thing: the main scenes, as seen in this piece of concept art, were like the different Death Eaters who have broken Umbridge out ahead of the trial. And I think there's a Hermione AA, but she's turned away from us. Spaceship Earth voice style.
Oh no!
So we don't have to create a face for her. But they're all doing like a wand battle in this gigantic scene. I think this will have the largest LED screen ever created.
Oh, that's cool.
So that we can enter a scene and it be so dynamic with animatronic figures in the foreground and magic flying everywhere and interactions on the walls and illuminations on the tiles that can only be achieved like through special effects of projections. But instead of projections, the whole thing is an LED room, like a massive LED room. And there's a couple of these on the ride. Literally the largest LED screen ever developed with real characters in the foreground.
I'm into that. That sounds really cool.
So instead of just going to a screen dome and then going to reality, they've made it so even the transitionary scenes have like actual physical stuff, and then the actual scenes have screens. So like we've merged the two together.
I'm into that. Let's go.
And since they're LEDs, you don't have to darken everything to make the screen projection work. You can all have a very lit room, finally.
Yeah, as long as the screen is contrasted correctly, it'll be freaking amazing.
Right. We got to really overlight the foreground people, though.
Yeah.
And speaking of animatronics, the video announcement did show a Death Eater that was an animatronic. It looks very impressive. Ooh. It did not show the Umbridge animatronic, which is rumored to be the most advanced animatronic that this company, that Universal has ever done.
Boo.
With just like the Monsters ride, it will have projection faces. I think this one, it takes it a step further where it's projection everything. Like she aberrates with a pink cloud of smoke and appears as an animatronic.
That's cool.
So very much like the Kylo Ren dropping down and walking toward you.
Yeah,
we can have a full scale 3D, and we're rotating around her while she appears and then walks or moves or talks to us, and we're rotating around her. And the projection mapping has like 100 points of like tracking to make sure it's always accurate to match.
That's insane.
Because it's outside projections, not inside face projection like Disney. Outside projections matching onto a moving animatronic.
That's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm hopeful, but I think it's cool. Like, I'm very curious to see what this projection mapping animatronic stuff looks like.
The Death Eaters are a good candidate for animatronics because they have masks on. Yep. But anytime it's an actor, Warner Brothers demands that the actor's actual likeness be portrayed, which is how we've only ended up with Mugen for all of the characters on the former rides, up until Hagrid. They did make an AA for Hagrid, so they're loosening it again. As I'm saying this, I realize that they made a Hagrid. But he's got a big beard, so he's hiding back there. He's got goggles on too. They put goggles on him.
But it looks like Hagrid. It looks like Robbie, so...
Well, this way we got the actress for Dolores Umbridge projected onto an animatronic, so it is the best of both worlds.
Are we going to get the actual Hermione voice, though? That's the real question.
Well, when they redid the train voice, I think that's who they hired to do this ride.
Gotcha.
That's my theory.
That does sound better.
She's so much better.
Yeah, she does sound better.
I think it's because she's like portraying her younger, and that's how we remember her, and it worked.
Yeah, the other original voice was so bad.
We did not talk about it, but the plot for the attraction is exactly as we described it before. Umbridge is on trial. She breaks out with the help of the Death Eaters. She has a pink smoke trail in the concept art. And her plan is to go to the Department of Mysteries, get a broken time turner, repair it, and bring back Voldemort. To which everyone in the comments goes, what does she care? She never cared about Voldemort, or she wasn't friends with the Death Eaters. And I'd be like, hey, shut up.
She wasn't friends with the Death Eater. Shut up.
Shut up. We don't know that. She's been like, she had backroom meetings. We don't know.
I was gonna say, you don't know. Maybe she became friends with him later.
She just, like, I think she's selfish and she wants power.
Oh, 100% she's power driven.
And I think it is out of character for her to require someone else, like Voldemort, to gain power. Like, I feel like she could have done it on her own. That is a little out of character, maybe. Maybe I'm reading into it. But she definitely would take up anyone on breaking. Maybe that's a deal. You break me out, I'll bring your lord back.
Yeah, maybe. That works.
I think it's a tit for tat thing. It's like she just wants to break out. She's selfish. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll use my... And I guess anyone could have used magic to... How did no one else think to just go Reparo to a time turner?
I don't know. It doesn't work like that unless it's convenient.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to the ride system and the large scope of this attraction.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's not my most anticipated land, but it still looks really beautiful in there, and the rides are going to be cool. Just to technologically kind of like nerd out on them.
If I can get a baguette at the entrance of Muggle Park, walk in and sit at an outdoor cafe and just chill with French music playing, I think the land will do it for me. I do like the Fantastic Beasts in the windows. They only showed Niffler, but there's more to come.
Cool. I'll be at the Burning Blade while you do that.
And I'm going to be at Toadstool Cafe, but the first year is going to be insane at Super Nintendo World. So maybe I'll need alternate options. Pizza Moon. So we did mention the height requirement for the ride is 40 inches, which is that similar to Spider-Man? It probably is.
That is. I think that is. Sounds about right.
Forbidden Journey is 48 inches.
That's good. It's
just for a comparison of how different this ride vehicle is. There we go. Spider-Man, yes, 40 inches. So because it's a lap bar ride, it's a motion-based ride, it's comparable to Spider-Man. It just has that extra up and down motion, although most of it is simulated.
And it's going to be amazing and fun and beautiful, but not as good as Dark Universe.
Well, if it works.
Good point. That's a good point.
If it works, because this is rumored to be the most complicated ride in the park, and it is proving to be difficult to get to work. So there are rumors. We've talked about it in our Patreon Discord. We have not talked about it publicly, but there are rumors that this park could be opening in a phased opening. Mm-hmm. Although when I hear that rumor about phased opening, I think to myself, maybe they mean like previews won't have all the rides ready. And that when the grand opening comes, the rides will be all ready. So that we could have team member previews earlier in the year next year. And Monsters and Potter aren't ready yet. Like it's just the first half of the park. It's the front half of the park. And then we have soft opening and more team member previews that continue for a couple months. And then Monsters opens, but the Harry Potter ride is still not ready.
Of course
and
not.
Then we get the grand opening and the Harry Potter ride opens, but it doesn't work, but it opens. Like Jaws
Mostly
in
works.
1990. Like it's there on opening day, but it keeps closing in the afternoon.
It
like
mostly works.
It mostly works. It works for the morning. And so go there first.
Works in
Someone was saying they don't
middle
think
of the morning.
The Ministry of Magic ride won't be ready till October.
That's
and that they believe that means the park won't be open till October. And I'm like, they will open this park whether it's ready or not. We will have high heels falling into the concrete, 1955 style. Yeah, we will have electric current in the Volcano Bay rivers. Whether or not this park is ready, it's opening.
We will have ducks being shot in the air onto people's laps.
Oh, poor Jaws 1.0. You were so special. You're so special. So yeah, I
Special.
when you go to this park in like the opening time period of Epic Universe, go on this ride as soon as you can. Not because I think it's going to break down, but because whatever is causing it to like have issues could be cut from the ride later. I
Yeah.
always say, like, people are like, why do you go to opening? It's like crazy. You want to like go later. And I'm like, I've been to
Full ride.
Disney's Animal Kingdom for cast member previews and saw all the cool stuff they cut when the park opened. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go
Or,
early.
when you go on Rise and the cannons used to work.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Here we are years removed and the cannons are still off, but we got to see it in its glory on opening day. So, this ride's going to be impressive. I just hope it works.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's kind of the double-edged sword. Like, you want to keep pushing technology, but when you do that, you're in unknown territory, so things are going to go weird. It's just going to happen. Like, you can't expect them to keep pushing the envelope and not have issues. So I'm here for it.
I do think it's interesting, the dichotomy between they're very complementary bookends to this park, where you have the Monsters ride and this ride with very similar technologies for the show elements done in completely opposite ways. Whereas the Kuka Arm Monsters ride is more intimate and small, essentially because the Kuka Arm takes up the entire building. So you're left with just like pointing you at the ceiling.
Yeah, but I mean, also it allows you to get it allows you to put them right in things.
Right. So you have like Dracula up in your face, breathing on your neck.
Yeah.
And you have bats flying through you and you feel heartbeats and stuff. And you're very intimate in this space in the catacombs beneath the manor. And then you go to the Ministry ride and it's the opposite, where it's grand in scope and it's massive and it like the going up and down and Wonka-vading around. It feels like it's 80 stories tall. And then you go to these scenes with like all these Death Eaters and the main characters doing wand battles, and it feels so huge and epic in scope. So very different executions of yet the same show element technologies with the LED screen backgrounds, the projection mapped foreground animatronics, and the most fluid animatronics that Universal's ever tried to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all the latest and greatest things they could possibly get, and they just put them in the rides.
And Kuka arms. Rides. You got Kuka arms for Dracula flying around. You got Kuka arms for an elevator flying around. It's really the same ride, honestly.
Oh, man.
They're pulling out all the tricks that they know, and yet it'll feel completely different.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what makes a good ride, though, right? Like, if you look at all the classic Disney rides, it's basically the same trick over and over again.
Oh, yeah. That's why I like the Haunted Mansion. It was like every magic trick they could think of in one ride. I mean, I'm excited.
I'm stoked
for the whole park. We've got all the worlds announced now.
I'm stoked. I mean, everything looks beautiful. Even How to Train Your Dragon, which is supposed to be the kiddie land, looks really, really awesome. It's just going to be so cool to see all this technology and new rides and new places, and I'm so excited.
And with a kid now, I'm trying to think of places we can go when she's a little bit older. And I know this is finally a theme park that has no height requirement rides. I know it's just 2, but like the carousel and the fire drill boat ride don't have height requirements. And that is new territory for Universal.
Yeah, and besides that, Uncle Ian's going to take her to Meat Hall, so it's going to be fine.
We did like there's the play area looks really good at Viking. Like, there's one thing that Universal does that Disney doesn't do anymore, and that's play areas. Even the Boneyard is being torn down allegedly at Animal Kingdom. That's like the last remaining play area besides the exit post-show area of Mission Space, which is like a tiny McDonald's play place. Whereas the play areas at Universal parks are impressive. And this one comes with one too, just like Camp Jurassic or DreamWorks Land or We Ship the Olive.
Camp Jurassic is super fun.
This is like a Camp Jurassic type level play area.
So cool. Yeah, but Vikings, so I get to fit right in.
Well, little kids might not be able to ride all the rides. At least we have shows here that little kids can do. Dragon Show is going to be a family attraction. And we have, even the Donkey Kong coaster has a 36-inch height requirement, which is absurdly small. That's like roller coaster small.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
So this is, okay, so here's the thing.
It's a good way to terrorize your kid.
I had to make a list of all the family restrooms at Epic Universe. It's every bathroom.
Oh, that's awesome. So every bathroom has a family option?
Yeah. The separate
cool.
little third room that's just for families. The same way that Walt Disney World has been trying to do in the last 10, 20 years. And Universal has redone a couple of their bathrooms, the one at the security and the one over at the entrance to Universal Studios Florida. And I noticed that they've been adding family restrooms. So Universal's trying to be more family friendly with Minion Land, DreamWorks Land, new family restrooms at every single bathroom inside of Epic Universe, and new no height requirement rides. So good on them, just in time for me to have a kid.
I don't like that security hub area doesn't have the breezeway in the back now, but I do like the bathrooms are really nice there, and I need that because that's where I stop as soon as I get there because I drive.
You have
and
a long
something.
drive. You gotta pee.
I drive for like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and I'm usually drinking something on the way. So that's usually my first stop.
I did like having that view of like the parking toll booths there.
Yeah, it was cool, but the bathrooms are nice. It looks really good there. I can't really complain about it too much for a bathroom, you know?
So all we need now is full details for Helios Grand. We've only got the like outside view. We haven't seen inside yet. Reservations for Helios Grand need to open up. The opening date for Epic Universe needs to be announced. Oh, the caffeine's kicking in. And
finally,
early tickets need to go on sale. But that is the last announcements we're waiting on, really, and the nighttime show, which maybe I could see being announced with Helios Grand details, because it's a big part of Helios Grand is being able to stay there and see the show.
Yeah, well, for sure. And I just want to see the rooftop bar. I only seen the.
Well, that's what the fireworks will be talked about. It's like, and a rooftop bar with fireworks.
It's going to be called Ian's Rooftop Bar because
I believe that is the name. I've seen it.
I mean, it is now. It will be whether it wants to be or not. So
early tickets were supposed to go on sale this month. I think it's been pushed back because they don't know the opening date yet. Although by the time this podcast goes up, they might have an opening date in mind. I see tickets going on sale, maybe not even in September, maybe October.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
I mean, it's supposed to be on sale now. Like literally 5 days from now, like tickets were supposed to go on sale. And I was so ready to spend $1 bajillion on 3 park tickets I don't need the other 2 parks of just for opening week. But I just remember that, like, if the early tickets require you to buy multi-park, later on they will sell single-day tickets and they will sell upgrades to the annual passes. Just, you have to be patient, and no one's patient.
No, of course not.
Anyway.
Yay!
Check out our patreon.com/themeparkstop. We haven't posted too much lately, but we're going to get back into it and do some extra podcasts. And go check out the Dark Ride podcast, premium podcast on Patreon for more details about the Ministry of Magic ride that seem to line up with official details so far.
Seem to kind of be right. Is that
when
what you're
was
saying?
that? I think it was like 6 months ago.
It was a while ago.
We talk a little bit more about the story. So go check it out.
All right. Enough of these shenanigans.
That's all for now. You know what we have coming up?
What?
D23 Expo.
Oh, I don't know. They have to do something. They have to actually make announcements this time, though.
I feel like they're going to announce most
anymore.
stuff is just going to be Animal Kingdom. We're bringing Indiana Jones and Tropical Americas along with Encanto to Animal Kingdom, fleshing out and creating a Tropical Americas area. But wait, we're also going to reinvent the Tree of Life Theater to be, and it's not going to be Zootopia. And they're going to pretend that they never announced Zootopia. And then they're going to be later on, they'll be like, plus Magic Kingdom is going to get Moana and Coco and Villains and Zootopia. But maybe we're blue skying. It's still just, we're still working it out. We're not really sure yet. Bye-bye, everyone. And then they're going to leave.
They need to build more and stop replacing things. That's what they need to do.
Moana's in a Adventureland expansion plot, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that.
And Coco is beyond Big Thunder Mountain, and
That
Villains is behind Mansion.
That Adventureland plot is a weird space to get to, but it's cool that they're going to have that because we need capacity like crazy in those parks.
Are you saying it's going to be an adventure?
To get there? Oh my God. Okay, time to go.
Some of this might make it into the podcast.
Some of it. Like maybe 20 minutes of it. Oh, man.
Maybe that'll be the premium show. The last 20 minutes we've been talking. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.